Hi, and welcome to my channel, and thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to be having a look at a movie from the 80s. I did put a poll up on my Instagram between two films from the 80s where science goes astray or awry, and it was between The Blob and The Fly. Both are remakes, and both are from the 80s, and The Fly won out. So let's jump into this and have a look at The Fly. Okay, so here we have playing in the background my copy of The Fly on DVD. I've had this one for a really long time, and it does come with a bunch of special features. You've got your episode selection in there, really good quality copy. I'm a huge fan of it. Now, The Fly came out in 1986. It was directed by David Cronenberg. It stars Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis. It was written by David Cronenberg as well, and Charles Edward Pogue. It's based on a short story by George Langland, and it is a remake of the 1950s The Fly as well, which once again was based on the same short story. I will put it out here, spoiler alert. I will be discussing things about this movie that will spoil the ending. So, the movie is about a brilliant but eccentric scientist played by Jeff Goldblum, Seth Brundle, and it's basically he begins to transform into a human-fly hybrid after one of his teleportation experiments goes wrong. So what I really like about this movie, so the acting. You've got Jeff Goldblum, Gina Davis, top of their form, great actors. They really do stand out in this as just fantastic actors. The writing is brilliant. The directing, David Cronenberg is an all-time favourite director of mine. Love his work, and it really stands out in this. It's a very brilliant movie in that regards, and also the special effects. Now, this is the 80s, so it's all practical effects. There is some very old school CGI, and that's in the teleportation. It's only a couple of scenes, but the actual physical effects that you see in this film are amazing. Like, from memory, I think the gentleman that designed The Fly, he actually won an Oscar for it. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. So yeah, it's just amazing. Like, it's full on, the special effects, but they are really well done. Seth and his gradual transformation into Brundlefly and the realization of what's happened to him, just portrayed so well by Jeff Goldblum. Like, he does a really amazing job of embodying Seth Brundle and what's happening to him. When you first meet him, he's a very shy, very awkward person, and as he gradually transforms, you see this confidence about him, and his personality changes with it. Really amazing acting from Jeff Goldblum. Now, this isn't really a negative about the film, but it is something I noticed. The pacing in parts is quite slow, and that's, like I said, that's not a negative. It could be a byproduct of the 80s and the 80s films, but for a horror film, it is slow paced. However, that being said, for a dramatic horror film, and this movie does bring the drama from Gina Davis and Jeff Goldblum, they bring that drama. It's really well done in that respect. So, like I said, some parts seem slow, but not a negative. It's just something I noticed. As for the best scenes in this film, there's a ton of scenes which are really good, but the two that stand out for me, after Seth Brundle goes through the transportation pod and starts developing abilities, he's lying down to sleep and you hear a fly buzzing around his sleep, and he just catches it, opens his eyes, and then he starts experimenting with enhanced strength and abilities, and it's just this sense of wonder as he's doing all these things. Really just well done, and really gives it a personal feel to it. Like, that sense of wonder is just abounds in that one scene. And of course, right at the end, Brundlefly. That is amazing. The scene I'm referring to is you have Jeff Goldblum, who's, he is quite deformed at this point, but it gets much worse. He grabs Gene Davis and then his jaw falls off and he starts molting, just losing chunks of flesh coming off, and very graphic scene. So if you've got a weak stomach, definitely skip this part, but he becomes a full big-eyed fly version, and it's horrific but so well done. Really good scene, and that's my two favorite scenes out of the whole film. One thing I will point out is just the whole Seth Brundle and Jeff Goldblum performance as he evolves from this awkward character to Brundlefly. Like, the whole evolution is just so well done, and he really does a great job in this film, so highly recommend if you haven't seen it. As for a score, look, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. It's a great film, it's really well done. It is an 80s movie, so some of the hairstyles and whatnot, a little interesting, but it is what it is. It is a product of its time, can't argue that. So thank you very much for joining me today. Like I said, The Fly, 8 out of 10. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend you give it a watch, see it for yourself. Thank you very much for joining me today. Once again, make sure you do click that like button, hit that subscribe button, and if you haven't already, follow me on my Instagram. Every week I will put up a poll between which movie I will be reviewing the following week. So handle will be down below. Go follow me there and vote for which movie you want to see me look at next week. Once again, thanks very much. See you next time. Bye.